Dallas 911. What's the address of your emergency?
My granddaughter. We can't get her on her cell phone. She's not responding to any messages. And she was screaming for her life. Somebody was beating her. And we don't know who has her. So I don't know what to do.
From my perspective, the Delisa Kelley case is probably one of the most heart-wrenching cases that I've ever worked on.
It was days later, after family members complained, that police began looking for Delisa, the mother of this little boy. A week later, Delisa was found murdered inside this abandoned house, and autopsies showed she died several days after her disappearance. Family members believe Sergeant Manzel's decision made the difference.
She was under the impression that help would be coming, but that help never arrived. That help never arrived because individuals at the department, particularly Sergeant Mansell, the officer that we've alleged in our suit, instructed the dispatcher to not send the car out, to not send the unit out to begin the investigation.
How old is this girl?
She's 24. Her granddaughter, but she never goes out missing. And then there's one more thing. She's pregnant.
Well, sounds like she's missing before. How'd she get in that situation?
But she's 24. Come on now.
He ultimately failed to send somebody out that night to meet with the grandmother and take an actual police report. That has resulted in discipline for that sergeant.
So my sister was Deanna Cook, who died in 2012 while she was on a 911 call that lasted for about 10 minutes. She called 911. The call starts out with her screaming at the top of her lungs. And we assumed that the phone was maybe thrown somewhere, or maybe she called it and threw it thinking that someone was coming to help her. But no one ever came. So I kick in the back door, and we find her body decomposed after 2 days of being in what we think is scalding hot water because her flesh was removed from her face.
We the people you depend upon. One nation, one number, we'll be there in a minute for you.
And it is definitely very disturbing to see that there would be an actual crime being committed, especially an imminent danger case, and kind of a lack of response from our police department. It's very upsetting that it would be actually going on, and our response was, we'll get back to you in a week.
It starts off by noting all Americans rely on 911 in an emergency, right? The one bedrock principle of Communications Act and the Commission, the Federal Communications Commission, is to ensure that we have reliable 911 service to all Americans at all times. Was the largest, and I think to date may still be the largest, fine imposed on any phone carrier for a 911 related issue. So this was a very, very big deal. And it's just a horrible injustice.